What's up everybody, I'm IAMFUTUREIDIOT and welcome back to a new episode of IAMFUTUREIDIOT. Then this week we're speaking about the Crash Bandicoot 1 remaster from the N.Sane trilogy, which was newly released a couple of weeks ago. I've been playing it quite a bit. Everyone has been saying online how brilliant it is of a remaster, but they're also kind of saying how difficult it is. And I don't believe that for a sec because I completed this when I was 7. Oh no! Shit. That's right, the time has arrived. Crash Bandicoot the N.Sane trilogy is currently out on PlayStation 4. Many people, myself included, have been waiting a very long time for this remaster to come out because it hits us all right in the nostalgia bone. I haven't actually got around to playing Crash 2 or 3 just yet because I'm actually trying to platinum all 3 of these games in my own time. So 2 and 3, I have no idea about them two, but Crash 1, let's get started. First thing you might notice is this game looks absolutely wonderful on PlayStation 4. You can pretty much notice straight off the bat that this has been built from the ground up and it looks absolutely gorgeous. It's probably one of the better PlayStation 4 games that I've ever seen in action because the original for the time looked absolutely wonderful, but this is something else. This is just like they've given Crash his own little supply of steroids. This is just Crash on steroids. They haven't scrimped or saved or anything. Everything from the original is here. All the sound effects are all new as well, all new music, all new voice acting, everything is brand new, and it's all so fucking good. That's all I got, it's all fucking good. Obviously they want to address the elephant in the room. At the beginning of this video there was a little bit of a death montage, and that's because this game is quite difficult. It's way more difficult than I ever remember it being. I saw online that someone had made a comparison between the controls between this one and the original, and Crash does in fact move a lot differently. I thought this when I was playing for the first few hours that he felt maybe a little bit heavier but quicker at the same time. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, and apparently Crash 1's controls have been completely thrown in the bin to replace more or less the controls from Crash Bandicoot 3 warped, which is cool because obviously that was the more unanimously more accepted controls. It is a lot better in the original trilogy, but putting into this makes the game, it gives it an extra layer of challenge, which I like. Sometimes it can feel a little bit bullshit when you make a jump and you don't just quite not make it. A lot of the platforming sections are really very difficult, like the hog ride sections and the side scrolling stuff is all good, but when you want to do precise platforming it doesn't always work. The 2 bridge levels are a really good example of this. I've seen a load of people completely bitch about how almost impossible these are. They're not impossible, I mean I've done them, but it did take me a long time to get through both of these. I've even seen a lot of people compare this to Dark Souls / Bloodborne levels of difficulty, and I can kind of get that, not in the sense of Bloodborne and Dark Souls are more difficult games, but I think it's more the fact that when you do a difficult section like in Dark Souls or Bloodborne, like a boss for example, it feels the same because some parts on this are very, very difficult, and when you do them you do get this huge sense of relief that maybe you didn't get in the original, and that's a nice added touch if you look at it that way. In this video what I wasn't going to do is I wasn't going to talk to you about what is Crash Bandicoot, because I've actually already done a review of the original, and a lot of people in these days, the game's been out for around 20 years, I would guess. Need to just keep reading my facts, dude. Found some facts. Around 20 years, let's just say. So I'm not going to explain what Crash Bandicoot is, but as far as a remaster goes, this is now the definitive way to play Crash Bandicoot. There's almost no need to play the original. It's a bit like the Resident Evil 1 remake that came out on GameCube, then later ported to PlayStation 4. There's no real need to play the original because the remasters are so good, and as far as Crash 1 goes at least, I can say confidently that it is a very, very wonderful video game because it's a good introduction to new players, and it's also got that added challenge for other people that have already played. What kind of script is this shit? It's bundled this time. It all comes on one disc on PS4. I picked it up on Game in the UK for I think like £29, so that works out around about £10 a game, which is really, really good value for your money, especially if they're such high-end releases like this. So I've got no complaints as far as Crash 1 goes. Good remaster, it's all good. I mean, I do have some gripes obviously with the controls being a bit like, come on, I just want to do this level, please just let me fucking do it. The original game was a wonderful game at the time, but I suppose that I think what people would talk about the original would be the boss fights not being that difficult. I mean, the rest of the game very challenging, very difficult in places, but the boss fights were never really a staple. Like, oh my god, do you remember that? You know, like a playground talk. Like, oh my god, did you fight that fucking purple, blue kangaroo, jumpy papa fucking? What's it called? What's it called? What the fuck is it called? What's it called? I can't remember that. What's it called? Ripperoo. The fucking Ripperoo. No one goes, oh, Ripperoo, dude. That's a big fucking moment in the game. Or the koala thing. And they haven't really changed it much in this. They're still kind of forgettable in a way. They're not very difficult. Yeah, that's my only gripe, really. I suppose they could have made the boss fights a little bit more challenging to match the rest of the game. They didn't. But I'm not complaining, so I guess they seem like more respite areas than actual bosses, which is a bit strange, but you know, we'll go with it. That's by the by, if everyone's memory serves them right, Crash 1 is actually the weakest out of the whole trilogy, and even looking at this, I'm thinking, damn, this looks and sounds good, the control is good, I'm a pleased fan at this point, but obviously Crash 2 and 3 are where it's at, so eventually when I'll get onto them, I'm sure I'll have a much more better time with that, simply because they are just better games. But as far as Crash 1 goes in the trilogy, it's a good introduction to the trilogy, especially for new players and old players. They can get used to the new controls, and overall it's good, it's brilliant. So I'll be coming back at some point as well to do 2 and 3, but for the time being, if you haven't played it yet, you gotta get yourself a PS4, and you gotta play yourself some Crash Bandicoot 1, I think. And there you have it, that's Crash Bandicoot 1 from the N.Sane trilogy. If you enjoyed that video, please be sure to leave a like, and also I will be reviewing Crash Bandicoot 2 and 3 in the near future whenever I get a good chance to play a good portion of it. And also, if, I don't know when this video is going up, but I am currently streaming Crash 1 every Thursday at about 9 PM British time. Don't want to miss any of that, make sure you press that subscribe button, and if you've enjoyed this, share it to your friends, show your parents, because they might remember Crash 2 and be like, this is fucking cool. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. I've been FUTUREIDIOT, have a nice morning, afternoon, or good evening wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you guys very soon. Goodbye!